Welcome back to the corner of Whymsy and Blyss. My Birdies Raised Beds are finally assembled and leveled and ready to go. But here's the deal. For as long as I've been waiting to get these beds in and to get this yard organized, I just don't have the energy to do it today. And I'm not one to start doing all of that filling because I've got to get all of that mulch into the bottom of each bed, which is going to be so much work. What you're looking at here is each one of these beds, they need 87 cubic feet of material. That is a lot. So if you think about it in terms of bagged soil, which is what I have had to resort to, that's 87 bags that I would need to fill for each one of the 4 beds. So what I'm doing is I'm going to put 15 bags of mulch in each one. That'll take care of roughly a third. Then I have some raised bed mix and garden soil mix that I'm gonna just kind of use as filler, as bulk filler. It'll be 7 bags of raised bed, 7 bags of garden soil per bed. And then for the top third, I will be adding my custom blend, which is basically going to be mushroom compost, composted cow manure, as well as coconut coir, and then of course all my other amendments. So still a lot of work to be done. What I'm going to do is do one bed at a time, which I think will work better, and it will kind of create a succession sowing situation rather than doing it all, planting everything at once. Forgive me, I'm very stuffy. Rather than planting everything at once and having it all produce and need to be harvested at once, I'm just going to do the first bed, then work on the second bed, and so on and so on. And each time I fill them, I'll get them planted. I have tons of seedlings going, tons of seeds that I still need to get going. This section over here is a work in progress. I'm not sure if I want to do the 2 15-inch 10 by 2 beds over there, or if I want to do only the round beds and order a couple more round beds. So I'm still trying to figure all of that out over there. I do want to use that kind of as a recording space, so there will be like a table. I have a really cute vintage dining room table and bench and chairs that I'd like to sit up over there to with the shed as the backdrop once it's all cutesied up and everything. But I'm not sure what I'm going to do with that just yet. I'm not in a hurry because obviously to have production out of these 4 big beds is more than enough. All of this was like my makeshift garden while we were trying to get the backyard situated and, get the beds and the big beds set up. I'm exhausted with this. I'm ready for it to all go. It is not easy filling up all the pots and bags. It will take like 3 hours to deep water each one of the pots and bags, and it's just, I'm over it. A lot of the things are starting to go. Today is the first day of fall here in northern Alabama, so it's about time for a lot of these things to start wrapping up. This bell pepper it's not bell pepper, but what do you call this? Eggplant is doing really good. This tomato is still trying to hang on. This bell pepper is also doing really good. The lemon drop marigolds doing great. Those are looking crazy. The zinnias are still hanging on. They're still growing. Nasturtium's still growing. So there's still a few things that look pretty, but it all just looks so wild now. Now that the beds are in and I can kind of see what it's going to look like, I'm just ready to get rid of all of that. Those are tomatillos, ground cherries over there. I really hope that we get a flush, at least one flush from them. This space is the source of my stress. It has been the source of my joy for such a long time, but right now I am stressed with this. It is so ugly and messy and problematic, and pests ridden and disease ridden, and I'm just ready for it to go. So these tomatoes were covered in those little white fluffy aphids. I have to hose them off on a regular, so I know the plant can't be happy with that. This bed was my 60-gallon grow bag that I've been trying to grow watermelons in. And then, of course, I added the zinnias because I needed to attract the pollinators. There were also tons of squash plants over here. Now, that was a problem because the zinnias finally took off, which thank goodness they did. But then the bees got to be so aggressive over here, so it made it difficult for me to even get in here and do all the pruning. So it just looks absolutely disgusting in there, and I just want to pull it all out. I want to leave the zinnias, pull the watermelons out, amend the bed, get some fertilizers and new compost and everything in there, deal with the powdery mildew, prune everything really good, but get it neat and clean again. This plant over here, oh my goodness, it's just pest ridden. So I'm just ready to get rid of it. It's been prolific, but I think it is pretty much spent, so I'm going to get rid of it. These are bags of fresh soil so I can get them planted up. So that's good. I now have some pallets. Now that my soil and everything has been delivered and offloaded, I have some pallets that I plan on setting up back here so that these bags can rest on and they can get some airflow. Because without it, it just was a recipe for disaster. All the drainage issues. This section over here in general was an absolute mess. It was too densely planted. Everything was just too close, too big, too wild. So much water happening, so much fertilizer. Everything is heavy feeder, super thirsty. And it just was a recipe for disaster. And look at these disgusting. Look at that. Can you see that? Oh my God, it's just all over the sunflower. And I'm just like, why did I put a sunflower in a bag with squash? Now, granted, they've been on the sunflower and not necessarily on the squash, but I can't get in here to prune and clean anything up because the bees are typically in here just being menaces, which I know I need them and I love them. I begged to have them and did all this so I could get them. Look at that. Disgusting. But now they have been so aggressive that I couldn't get in here and do what I needed to do. So everything is failing. It's ugly, overgrown, and it needs to go anyway because this section here where all of this is going to be my greenhouse. My greenhouse is 8 by 8, but I plan on building it on a 12 by 12 platform so that I'll have room to get 2 green stalks on each side of the greenhouse and maybe a couple of pots toward the front. So I'll scoot the greenhouse to the back of the deck, the platform. And that way I'll have, a few feet in the front for pots and decorations and everything. And then, of course, I'll have the 2 green stalks on each side. That's the plan. Back here are my sweet potatoes. And I don't know what's going on with the marigolds. This bed failed for such a long time. The leaves were dying. Everything was withered. I worked at it, fertilized it, kept it watered. It's looking decent. I don't know why the marigolds just fell over like that. This bed looks like it's dying. This one was the pretty healthy bed, but everything just looks absolutely disgusting. And I'm just, so over it. This one for the longest was the best, and it is now the absolute worst. So I don't know if it's because the sweet potatoes are ready to be harvested. I was trying to let them leave them in until our first frost, which is about November 15th. But looking at what's going on with the leaves, Hello. Hi. Do you see her? Hi. Looking at what's happening in here. I just want to rip it all out because I just can't take it. This is a little cucumber. It's covered in powdery mildew. We get so much rain here. And of course, it was in this section behind me that was so densely packed. It's just everywhere. So I do have some potassium bicarbonate, some neem oil, and a few things on the way to kind of deal with that. Or I'm about ready to rip it out, but the zinnias are so pretty and I really don't want to do that. There's more zinnias in this bed. This is also an eggplant that's starting to flower. Hopefully we'll see a little something. This was a cute little pot with lemon drop marigolds and strawberry blonde marigolds. I'm not sure what happened to them, that it just fell over and kind of died like that, but I'm trying to leave it so I can harvest the seeds or collect the seeds. But before I can get my beds, my new beds, my beautiful beds, planted, filled and planted, I've got to make sense of all of this. And I need the space to get my greenhouse put in because there's several things that I want to overwinter in there. Like, oh, my nasturtium's finally open. Look at, that's the purple emperor. That is peach melba. More of the strawberry blonde marigolds. This is the velvet queen sunflower, but she's looking rough. The purple emperor nasturtiums are gorgeous. I love them. But I'm gonna go ahead and get all this cleaned up today. More of the strawberry blonde French marigolds, which I love. I'm gonna clean this all up, try and give what's left of the of the zinnias a second flush. I want to try and keep them until the first frost, but they won't make it looking like this. Like, they look terrible. So I've got to get all of this clean, pull these watermelons out. They're not going to, I don't think that they haven't grown larger than this size in like a couple months, so they're not going to put on any more size. They're not ready. So I'm going to pull all this out, get it all clean. Hopefully give them a little bit of a shot to get us till fall. And try to deal with these bugs, these squash bugs, I guess. I don't know what they are, but they are so disgusting and they're all over the place. We're also being plagued with these white fluffy aphids. Oh, there's a cutie right there. You see him? Just hanging out. But he's not welcome. He's got to go. So, look at, the bees are just everywhere. They're huge. And I'm happy. I really am. And I don't want to sound ungrateful because I know that we need them for the sake of our pollination. But they have been so aggressive and making it hard for me to keep everything neat and orderly back here. And that kind of robbed me of my joy when dealing with this. Like, I can't handle stuff looking this crazy. I just want to get rid of all the carnage. I want to take advantage of the fall and get everything cleaned up, get it nice and tidy so that I can slowly fill my beds, slowly get them planted, and get back to the joy that I had found in the garden. So that's where I am for today. But my zinnias are so pretty. I have got to try to save them. Look at that. Oh my God. They are so pretty. There were hummingbirds in the yard this morning. We've had some of the most beautiful swallow-tailed. I don't know what the black ones are, but they've had the most beautiful markings. Just lovely. It's so fun to watch everyone bouncing around back here. Even the bees. But I just need them to let me get in there and prune and harvest. We had patty pan squash hiding in there that had to have been like the size of a dinner plate. I'm like, I didn't even see it because there was so many bags in here. And each time I tried to get close to prune all of the extra leaf material, I couldn't get in there. They would like run me back in the house. So that's what we're gonna be doing today. A little bit cleanup work. I think I'm going to sacrifice this particular whiskey barrel so I can see what's going on with those sweet potatoes. If they're not ready, then I will try and keep these other two alive until they are. But this one looks absolutely horrible, and I hate that because those are the most gorgeous, gorgeous French marigolds. Even my little zinnia that I had in there is just a goner. There's a little bit of a nasturtium in there trying to hang on. But I just want to get this cleaned up and see what's happening in there. But anyway, we're going to make it happen. I will more than likely record how we're going to get these beds filled because they are a beast. They are huge, but they look so good now that they have been leveled. This backyard has a severe slope. Everything slopes forward. This first level is higher than this level. So I'm going to have to just accept that these beds will be kind of a terraced effect because there's no way to get them all perfectly level unless I'm prepared to excavate. And I'm not prepared to do that. One, time, space, budget, energy. I don't have any of that for excavation. So we had to figure out a way to get them leveled. So these first two beds will have an arch trellis connecting them, and then the top two beds will also have an arch trellis connecting them. So that should be pretty. All of this will be gone. This will eventually be like our entertainment space because it stays cool. It's shaded by the house, stays cool and comfortable. So that'll be cleaned up. I do plan on planting the border of the entire property full of flowers, sunflowers, different types of herbs and things that deter pest. My shed, I gotta figure out what I want to do with that now. There's so much space in front now that all the grass has been covered up and I can see it. I have to figure out how I want to use that because it's a large space, but it's fun. So we'll see what we do over there. Once all of this is moved, then I'll have a peace of mind and being able to see my backyard again. There's a lot of space back here for a suburban backyard, but I haven't been able to see it because one has been so cluttered, which trying to grow while you're trying to create a garden, I wouldn't advise it because it has not been fun. Those are my Kilimanjaro marigolds, and they are absolutely gorgeous. I love them. The bees love them. They're so pretty. These were the flowers that I started with because at the time I wanted my entire garden plan to match the house, which is stupid. So the front of my house has like a cottage style board and batten, and it has this really soft yellow and the creamy white. So I thought these would have been perfect. Not realizing the bees were going to love them. That squash is coming out. Those calendulas are struggling, but now that it's cooling off, they're doing a little bit better. We're getting to the end of the red spineless okra. That tomato just gave up the ghost. So it's time to pull her. That okra is just about done as well. Like, honestly, I'm over the summer crops. I'm ready for the fall. So all of this is going to get pulled. Most of this soil is garbage, and it's all going to be root bound. So I'm just going to pull it all out, toss it, bags, pots, all of it. I'm so over all of this. I'm ready to plant all of my fresh seedlings, which, they're doing good, but the pests and everything are after them. I got to get them either up potted or actually transplanted. So lots of work, which I don't mind. It's just I want it to be pretty again and enjoyable again. I'm tired of looking at the ugly. Like these little, I believe they're strawberry something or other, tomatoes. They're not going to make it. It's too late in the season. So I think I'm going to go ahead and pull them. But I need to see the rest of my nasturtiums pop up. I'm desperate for it. But this bag is so pretty to me the way it's planted. There's, now granted, I don't think I'll see them, but there's cosmos, zinnias, nasturtium, and of course the marigolds. And then it's planted with the eggplant. I love the way the bag looks, but I don't think that we have enough time in our season for everything to grow up. See, more bees on the Kilimanjaro marigolds. They're all over it. So I'll have to get some more of that planted. Make sure I save that seed for next season for the spring and get them going early. That rack right there it's full of seedlings. So we've got a lot of fun stuff going. I'll be recording a video eventually of all the seedlings, the seed starting mix that I've been using, how I get my seedlings to nursery quality, honestly, organically with no fertilizers and, no junk. But I'll record that video in a couple days and get some things potted up, hopefully once the beds are filled. So anyway, thanks for visiting. Hopefully you all are out there in your gardens and enjoying it. Unlike me, I'm going to enjoy the cleanup. I haven't peeled the plastic yet because I needed to make sure the beds were in place. That's going to be super satisfying once that happens, once I'm able to get that all peeled and get the edging on it. I do plan on doing a few like DIYs to add like row cut, treat it like I want to add like a cold frame topper type of deal, because I do want to be able to grow all the way through until it really gets cold here, which it doesn't frequently snow here in northern Alabama, but it gets pretty cold. And I want to make sure that we have some things in place that will extend our growing period and also protect all of the plants. So, we'll be doing some of those things in future projects as well. But anyway, get out there and enjoy your gardens, plant something, pluck something, prune something, but get out there and do something. Enjoy the space, even when you're transitioning from the warm season to cool season. There's still something beautiful in the garden. It's still magic that's happening. So hopefully you'll pop by in future videos, because there's more to come on the corner of Whymsy and Blyss. Bye.